welcome to the show.
This guy got a mistletoe belt on.
Gosh, that is bad.
The whole plane smells like weed.
Those were the days. It's a joke, you idiot.
Looked in the mirror, I'm like,
Good old innocent fun. Welcome back, everybody, to Troublemakers, the podcast where each week we bring on a guest and they tell crazy stories about their lives. I'm your host, Dylan Krasinski, coming to you live from a gorgeous 60-degree day in Brooklyn. I mean, what a treat in the middle of February. Who cares about global warming? That's our position. Who gives a shit? The candles are not lit today because it's so nice out, but we're still ready to have a great time. With me, as always, is my incomparable co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, the big dog, Zawodni, everybody.
Dylan, how are we doing today?
I am great, dude.
I've realized that I need to match your energy up top a little better, so I'm trying to just emote happiness and joy and have a little more fun and let all of our viewers know that you can find us every single Wednesday on pretty much every streaming platform there is out there. Full episodes on YouTube, clips on your Instagram, on your YouTube, on your TikTok. And also, if you subscribe to us on Spotify, do us a favor. Leave us one of those 5-star reviews.
5 stars.
Nothing less. Even if you're like, this is kind of a 4.5, we're not. Leave us a 5 anyways. We're rounding up. Welcome back to 3rd grade where we're teaching you rounding. And we are we're ready to dive in today. I'm all fired. I'm all fired up today because the energy that our guest came in with is fucking contagious.
It is contagious.
And it makes me want to run through a goddamn brick wall.
Dude, our guest today, returning guest, a fan favorite, everybody. Put your hands together for Big T, Mr. Tom Farrell.
What up, Troublemakers? How are we doing? I'm ready to go. Beautiful day, New York City. Like polar bears, thanks for coming. You had your time. You know, the seals high-fiving each other. They're done. But you know what? It's a beautiful day in fucking New York City, February. You know, let's
Gorgeous,
go.
dude.
It's great that that's a side effect of global warming. Is like, oh, it's nice out.
Just gets our dopamine up, dude.
I can day drink on a porch.
There is nothing better than a day drinking in spring, summer. These days when it hits it's cold, hits 60, that is the perfect time to day drink in the city. That's the really one of the only / best things about New York City. Outdoor drinking.
I was walking around wearing gym shorts, a hoodie, and a backwards hat, which is like the fat guy trying to fake athletic uniform.
That
you
is,
know what I mean?
Dude, you did walk in with those mesh shorts, and I was like, hey, thanks for dressing up, dude. Thanks for dressing up.
Well, I realize nobody's going to see my thighs on the podcast.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I do have good thighs. That's one thing I have about
Great
me. Tom.
thighs.
I'm very top heavy, but I got pretty legs.
That's the only thing I'm self-conscious about is my thighs.
Your thighs?
Since I was a kid, listen, I was on the cover of Newsday, I was traveling baseball, doing good. And we live on the beach. They're like, yo, you got to do these swimming races. And then CYO, and I'm coming in last. I'm the best at everything. Then I got to come in. I got a weenie bikini. I'm in this fucking hot thing, fat red thighs. And ever since then, I'm coming in last. My dad's like, someone has to come in last. Like, yo, fuck you. I'm swimming for survival, not to win a fucking ribbon or some shit. You know what I mean? So my thighs have... Everything else, no shirt on all the time, tits hanging out, zero, whatever that word is.
Self-conscious.
Yeah,
You're not self-conscious at all.
But my thighs, please look away.
Oh, see, I'm the opposite. I'll show you my dick before I take my shirt off. You know,
Ray's Winnie the Pooh in it every time he hooks up with a girl. It's like, can you take your shirt off? You don't want to.
No, just bottoms off.
Dude, you came in with hot energy. Can you fucking? I don't even know. You came in and you said you almost brought a guest to the pod.
Yeah, not Carly girl. You know, from
not
the last
dog,
episode,
yeah.
The little dog. She was too much. You know, I brought her to the gym. My friend has a gym. I'm doing sit-ups. She's licking my head. She was distracting me last night. But I was doing a weed review. One of my things I do, and
yeah.
I fire it up, and I see some guy hitchhiking. I said, pick him up, And I'm like, you don't mind? He's like, no. He's like, you going to Brooklyn? I'm like, 'cause I live in Queens. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to Bushwick. Yeah, I didn't want to say it at first. I'm like,
that's fine.
He's like, yeah, I'm just trying to get out. He's trying to work on his mental health. And I'm like, yo, let's go. I almost brought him here, but then we stopped to get a coffee on Pennsylvania and Linden, and he's like, I got to take a shit. They wouldn't let him go to the bathroom. So I let him off at McDonald's on Jamaica in Pennsylvania. But he was a cool shit. I gave him a 9.5, the weed at 8.8. I gave him a review.
Dude, that's a good guy. Ranking higher than the weed, that's impressive.
Yeah,
You always pick up hitchhikers?
Yeah. Rockaway's different. It's a nice neighborhood. You know, you can trust people a little more. I don't know. If I can handle myself, you know?
Dude, yeah, I think I would bet that the hitchhiker was probably more nervous than you were.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, blowing smoke on this, like, huge pre-roll. Like, and it lasted till fucking Pennsylvania Avenue.
Did you share it with him?
No, I don't share. I stopped sharing after the pandemic. It's me and my girl.
That's true. Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
He sits in the car, Tom's just all fired up. What's up, motherfucker? Where you going? You going to fucking Brooklyn? Let's do it.
Just hotboxing the car with him in it.
but it was a good shit, you know?
Well, you were speaking of you and weed. You don't even know this, or I may have told you after the fact. You were a big part of my pandemic because the girl that I was dating right before the pandemic, you must have given her an edible that you made, and it was one of these big fucking cake pops that was the size of a goddamn tennis ball.
Yeah.
And I have no tolerance for weed. I'm not a big. I like it, but like I get fucked up off of like 5 milligrams. So Paul Dagliola was like, you got that from Tom? Yeah. Be careful. Take like fucking slivers of it. And dude, I was taking little slivers and I was fine, but it was fucking me up. And then one night I tried to get risky and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do like double what I normally do. I end up on my couch at like 2:30 in the morning. I must have took a short breath and started convincing myself that I was dying of COVID. So I was like, oh fuck. All right. I'm going to go in the kitchen and make a hot tea because they say that if you put hot stuff down there, it'll keep you from suffocating. I'm just like making up facts about COVID. And then I'm like, but I can't go in there because I don't want my roommate to see me way too stoned and judge me for making tea at 3:30 in the morning. So I was like, I'll just lay here, but really I'm just going to die. And it was just this fucking problem, but it was so good. And it lasted me weeks.
Yeah, the Cake Pops, fan favorite. It's very tedious. You know, I'm a pothead. It's lazy. Yeah, I gotta make the cake, roll them, double boil the chocolate. You know, like I could just make a Rice Krispie treat. You know what I mean? But people love those things.
If you're eating one of those cake pops, how much will you eat at a time?
Probably at least one.
Wait, like a whole fucking
I gotta
thing?
refrain myself from eating two because they taste good. You know what I mean?
It did taste really good.
Yeah, like that's my problem.
Oh God, dude.
I legitimately ate it in like 15 servings. That's how bad I am.
Give me a couple of oat milk. Oh, that's
That's crazy, dude. Yo, I can't, dude. I've taken 10 milligrams of edibles and I've been like off my fucking face. It's too much, man. That's like 100, right?
Yeah.
At least.
Oh, a couple hundred.
Oh,
yeah.
God,
I go in like
it's like psychotic break territory for me.
Yeah, no. I've put I don't know if we talked about it.
Your camera guy.
Yeah, put him in the hospital. You know.
Have you heard that story?
You know,
we got a bunch of new listeners. You can fucking tell it again. Yeah.
I'll say his name, but we don't work together no more. You know, Mateo.
Yeah.
He's super on the spectrum. You know, I'm more on that side than this side. Like, we were recording the podcast in Staten Island, and I brought a bunch of edibles, and you know, hindsight's 420, they say. And like, they're like, "Hey, you got anything?" We start handing them out. They're drinking coquito. It was like Christmas time. Next thing you know, he's doing all these like fucking like Fortnite dances because he has like all these like autistic tics. And like then he's like, I need water. And I'm like feeding him water. I'm like, all right, now I can't drink out of my gallon no more. You know, and this guy put his lips on it. Next thing you know, he's like, I can't feel my testicles. Call 911. And like, I don't know what the hell that was about. No one was touching him. And like these fucking like Italian, straight out of like some movie scene, like Italian EMTs, and like came up. He's like, I can't breathe, screaming, I can't feel my testicles. I'm like, I stopped calling 911 on my friends. I don't drink and do coke anymore, and I gotta call them for fucking edibles. And like, took him to the hospital. Like, you're not going to pick him up? I'm like, yeah. I went there. There was a cop car. I was like, you know what? I'll pay for your Uber. You know, I apologize. I'm not getting arrested. Like,
Tom,
I'm ripped. You know?
How good is this weed? Oh, it'll knock your fucking balls off, dude. Feel my testicles.
Dude, that's gotta be your review. Is like what kind of strength do you want your weed? Well, I'd like to not feel the most important part of my body. That would be great.
I sometimes wish I didn't have my balls and just a penis. You know what I mean?
Do you?
They're just in the way.
Okay. Dude, I think underrated. The balls are the best part.
You fucking would, dude.
But imagine, like, imagine your dick got either chopped off or whatever, and like you have all these urges, and it's just like a nub.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that's fucked up, man.
That's pretty bad, actually.
Like at least you can go whack off now, but like now it's like no nub. Like what the fuck do you do?
And that is a cause that is very near and dear to our hearts. So any Troublemakers listeners that want to donate to the National Eunuch Foundation, we are taking donations.
Dude, what was that website when I was younger, when I was a kid? It was where the guy, like, it was a video of him like cutting his penis off.
Fucked.
It was some like, dude, I forget what it was called. But it was like some like, you know, do you remember that? Where it was like, it was right around the time of the 2 Girls, 1 Cup, Mr. Hands. And there was one, I forget the name. I'm blanking on it. But he literally, like, they showed him like cutting his dick off.
Those were the days. Those were the days when something like that went viral instead of somebody fucking lip syncing Donald Trump videos.
It went so viral, dude. That was before viral was a thing. It was just like everybody saw it. It was just like everybody saw it.
You used to have to get fucked in the ass by a horse if you wanted to go viral. Now you could just, you know, do a duet with an Ed Sheeran song.
Yeah, review pastries on TikTok. That's it.
Motivational videos of you painting your living room with Joe Rogan's voice behind you.
But I think it was a website, fucked, FUCT or something like that. There was wild shit like that, and like ladies' assholes falling out and stuff. Like once you see that, you don't want to have anal sex to or from. Like, you're like, nah, I'm good the other way, man.
To or from. Pain Olympics. That's what it was called. The Pain Olympics. Do you remember that? No? Okay.
I was late to the game with emails and like even Facebook. Like, I got it in like 2018 or something, 2017. This is
like early 2000s, I feel like. But, dude, yeah, that was wild. That was wild shit. Sorry, go ahead. What were you going to say?
No.
The 2 Girls, 1 Cup was fake. Right?
You think?
Yeah.
Probably. But I don't know. It's before, you know, tricky camera angles and all these tricks that they can do.
Yeah.
Listen, it's not shit, but they're all like BrazilianFarts.com. Like, there's girls out there blowing farts in each other's mouths. Like, we're a half a step away from shit.
This is definitely
is air shit, you know, like
this is going to be definitely limited ads on YouTube.
Well, that's why I just pitched our ad for the Unix Foundation.
Well, to be honest, they could be like, you know, you could drop an ad right here and be like, Charmin, 12 rolls for $1. There you go. Toilet paper.
Pepto-Bismol.
Well, the hitchhiker, I asked him, I don't know how bidets come. I'm a bidet shill. You know what I mean? We talk about it. I asked him, I don't know how it even came up. I'm like, how did I incorporate during a weed review and this hitchhiker going to Brooklyn, like, that I somehow was pushing the bidet on him? He wasn't into it. You know,
like a bidet. I can't imagine that, to be honest. You know what? I can't imagine the hitchhiker has ever experienced the joy and pleasure of a luxury item like a bidet. I can't imagine he's like, you know what I need? A bidet. Also, I need a ride to the store to buy the bidet.
Yeah, he doesn't have a place to go shit, let alone a bidet.
You know what? I might have to redo his review. This guy's walking around with shit between his cheeks, getting in other people's cars. Thank God I have leather. If it was cloth, his fumes would. I'm fucking drooling.
Permanently in there.
Yeah,
he would have been
scumbag.
seeping into the upholstery.
So, dude, when you came in hot and prepared. I love that. I dig it. But you fucking, I was like, just give me fucking little tidbits. So I want to hear this Mets story, dude. What is this story about you and the Mets? You're wearing the hat. I
love the Mets. I know you're a Met fan.
Big time Met fan. Let's go.
Yeah, big
winning the World Series this year.
And we had season ticket. Always like either the package.
When was this? What year?
I was still with UPS, so sometimes probably like the late, like right before 2010, around that era, like time, 2008.
So before Citi Field. This is Shea.
Yeah, this was Shea.
Okay.
And I used to work for UPS, and like I remember I was on like Fulton Street. I got this Met jacket, all NYs all over it, a belt buckle, Beltran jersey, the hat, and
decked out.
Yeah, and you know I love the cocaine, and like I used to drink Evan Williams, and it might be popular now. This is before it jumped the shark. It was like Jack Daniel's cheap cousin. I just would swig that, Bud Heavy, Coke, and I would get jacked up, and it was like all gacked up here. Like I remember the whiskey was winning that day somehow. Like that's how much I was fucking out of control drinking. I was doing a lot of Coke, and I'm fucking so fucked up, and I felt it coming up. And there was a family in front of us. And I went like this instead of going like down or one hand. And it went 5 different directions all over this family. And everyone's yelling at me. So like I I had to get away. Like I didn't want people yelling at me. You know what I mean? I didn't want to get in trouble. Yeah. So I found some seat, and next thing you know, like I just remember passing out somehow. Like I don't know how I was on coke, but that's how much whiskey I was drinking. And I remember the end of the game, my friends were passing by, 2 people, like, yo, we're going to meet up with him. We had like a bus or something, and we're walking out of the tunnel like him. And I'm like, fuck. So I'm like, and it wasn't even for that. And it just so happened one of my friends blasted someone, and I didn't even look like that guy, and they arrested me. I'm like, what the fuck? How are you gonna, with this outfit on, how are you gonna think I'm someone else? And like they had me in a little cell in city Shea Stadium.
Oh man.
And my other buddy got arrested too. I don't know what he got in trouble for, but my other buddy was in there already. And the guy's like, I'm getting in trouble. Like I've been arrested a lot, like for stupid shit. Like, but I'm getting blamed for something I didn't do. I know karma. You know what I mean? I deserve that, but it was fucking family that got my throw up all over them.
Oh, God.
And like, I remember the cops like, you better fucking stand up. I'm like, no, fuck you. I'm laying on the floor. What are you going to arrest me twice? Like, I'm not standing. I'm laying on the floor. I'm arrested for no fucking reason. And I ended up like saying, no, I can't breathe. Bring me to the hospital. I'm not going. I didn't feel like going to Central Bookings right away. You know, I wanted to go just lay in a hospital bed. And then that cost me money. like some fucking ambulance service. Like, collection fees for years, like $3,000 for that. And then I wasn't allowed in Shea Stadium. But then when Citi Field came around, I guess they don't have me on file.
They didn't extend the band.
No.
Wow,
the bands don't transfer.
The bands don't transfer. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, and it was cool that my buddy. So my buddy, like, you know, once you go to the hospital, you're prolonging your time.
Yeah.
And somehow I caught up with him in Queens Central Bookings, and I got a ride home with him. So it all worked out. Except for that family.
Wild.
Dude, in therapy still.
Can you imagine bringing like you're married, you're bringing your kids to their first Mets game, and then some fucking idiot just throws up on the back of your kid's head?
Cheap whiskey.
Oh my God, that's so fun. How are you doing cocaine in a baseball stadium? Are you just like doing it like key bumps?
Anywhere, yeah.
Snorting it, you're keep bumping
the whole head. Now with the gender neutral bathrooms, family bathrooms. All 3 of us can go in. No one can question us. This is our lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like, but once you're in there, like, with you share and high five, and like, hey, we're not waiting on that line. We're a family now. Like,
yeah, I
shout out to woke, whatever that shit's called. Scumbags.
I love that that's your reason for liking gender neutral bathroom. That's why he voted for it. They're like, oh wait, you really think they should be able to go in any bathroom? You're
man.
like, no, it's just easier to do coke and single,
your
bud.
buddies.
Yeah, just way more areas to do cocaine.
You can bring the squad in there.
Holy shit, dude.
Don't question us.
That's so fucking funny.
Not like a packed bathroom where you have to time sniffs with flushes so people don't know what you're doing in there.
Dude, what is Shea Stadium jail like? I never experienced that. It's just like a regular jail.
Yeah, it has like that. Like let's say you ever go to somewhere where like they have the expensive stuff in a cage, like in a warehouse.
Oh yeah.
So it's just like a little cage like that.
Yeah. Damn. So you had I wonder, did they put your picture on the wall? Take your picture and like.
I don't remember. I was just so like. I just woke up, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, I was trying to get out of it, like in my head, because a guy on Curb Your Enthusiasm got out of murder. He got accused of murder, and he was on an episode.
Yeah.
And like, I'm like, yo, they had to pan to the camera on me, and Keith Hernandez that busted my balls. Like, look at this guy, spent all the money for that ticket, it's decked out. Like, I was like over the top. Dripping in Mets gear, like, you know what I mean? Like, you'd probably be embarrassed walking in with me. You know what I mean?
He lifts up his shirt. He's just got a rotating Mets belt logo on.
But the belt buckle that I bought, on like some guy again in East New York was selling it. It was fucking awesome. I never had a belt buckle. You know what I mean? Like, but it was digging into my fat belly. The only
dude, that's the problem with belt buckle. I would love a belt buckle. I can't do it. It's you know what? It's something people don't talk about.
No, and. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just saying, tell me if you agree with this, staying on like the stadium. I feel like stadiums aren't as fun like they used to be. They used to be the fucking Wild West to go see a game. And now, like I went into Heinz Field in Pittsburgh where the Steelers play, like a couple of years ago, and I was wearing a "fuck Tom Brady" shirt, and they made me turn it inside out, and we're like the cops were like making such a big deal about it. And I remember, similar to what you did at Three River Stadium, the old one, I went with my dad when I was like 8, and everybody in our section is just hammered drunk, and I saw a dude next to me so drunk, like doing the like, you know, just that like wobbling, and just throws up in this lady in front of him's hood, and she never notices.
Dude, that's a rough night. You get home, you're like, ooh.
But like that dude didn't kick. He watched the rest of the game.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, I made a T-shirt up. I didn't even know. Like, remember the chive? It's like,
Yeah,
keep calm and chive
Yeah.
on. I didn't know what that was. I took my friend's like, come with me to the mall. Edibled out of my shorts. I got the big bag of cookies from the cookie house, shuffling around. And I see the little kiosk. I'm like, yeah, keep calm and blow me. And me laughed. This guy laughed. We're in Foot Locker. I said it again. He laughed. I said, no, I'm going to make that shirt made up. Like, instead of keep calm and chive on.
Yeah.
I made it, and I would always wear it. I would wear it to the Met game, and they made me turn it. Oh, the Giant game. They made me turn it inside out.
Really?
Yeah.
I had a
bullshit.
I had a fuck Philly, and it looked like the Philly writing, and it said PHUCK Philly. And dude, I never had a problem wearing that.
Well, mine was the F***CK Tom Brady. It's like I'm even bleeping it out for you.
Yeah.
That's wild. That's wild, dude. I bet. Yeah, you. I've seen now fights, dude. Have you ever seen a fight in a stadium? Those get fucking.
I've never seen one. Like I've just seen the videos, like aftermath. I never saw one live.
Shout out to TikTok. But I'm like, where the security guards? Like, I couldn't do nothing without getting in trouble. These guys, they're having like altercations leading into fight. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's not a quick one. You know what I mean? Like, there was a viral one with he had like Eagles, Green Bay. You ever seen it a couple months ago? And he fell down the stairs.
Yeah,
guy my size.
Yeah.
But there was all the clips came out that there was an altercation, like argument. Like, usually they would jump on it right away. I don't know. It's
Dude, what's weird? Do you remember the Suns and 4 guy? Sons and 4 guy from the playoffs like 2 years ago, where he just literally knocked this dude out and then was like a national hero. Dude, that is the best case scenario, honestly.
Oh
Dude, he got on Barstool. He got to go on Barstool, and they were like, I think he met the whole team, and they were like, thanks for defending us. Dude, now you just see people getting their ass kicked, and teams are like, we don't like to see that in our stadiums. I'm like,
Did you see the newest one from the hockey game? It just was like last week. It was that kid with the mullet, that young kid with the mullet, calls that old dude the N-word, and the old dude hits him with like the slowest soft jab and just drops him.
That's a guy that's been moving metal for his whole life, and he's got the rage built up behind that soft punch. It's old man strength.
When I first saw it, I'm in the comments. I'm like, maybe I'm not hearing the N-word. You know what I mean? Like, not that I hear the N-word randomly when I'm driving. I'm like, did I just hear it? Like, So then I saw it again, and then I went back to the comments, and people were like, that's what he gets for saying it. I'm like, he did say it. You know what I mean? The first time I heard it, I couldn't. I don't know. Maybe they clipped it short. I'm like, did he just say the N-word? He deserved it.
It was just funny. He had like I noticed like his hair. He had the like white trash mullet. And then I was like, oh, maybe that was just him trying to be funny or doing a bit. And then you see that he has a bunch of keys hooked onto his belt loop. And I was like, no, he's just a fucking white trash through and through.
Unless you, the only time you have keys on a key loop that's hooked to your belt, you've committed some crimes. you've done some. You're a
janitor.
Yeah, janitor, custodian, landlord, maybe. Like,
you're not
white trash.
You're not scared to get your hands dirty. Okay. I would be so scared to hit someone because I don't want to get arrested. But like, dude, there are so many people walking around just like, yeah, I'll get arrested to fucking knock someone out. That's a scary thing. I didn't tell. I've told it on the pod, but I had an altercation right out here where this dude drove by me on a moped on the sidewalk, and he was like mumbling at me like, get out of the way. And he was like, I'm trying to be polite, but you're fucking in the way. And I was like, well, you're on the fucking sidewalk. As he goes past me, he stopped like 10 yards up, turns around, and then I see he's got all these face tattoos. He's got teardrops under his eye, and I was like, I made a huge mistake. he goes, what the fuck did you say? I go, nah, don't worry about it. No problems here.
I'm walking the street. Don't worry.
You want a coffee? I'll bring you down a coffee.
He was like, have a blessed day. And I was like, good. You too, sir.
Are you free next week to come on the podcast?
Honestly. Dude, he's on here. He's just committed, like, admitting to murders he's committed. In the 90s, I cut some dude's head off. All right.
I saw a vicious fight outside of a Penn State game one time, and it was like this one dude that was like built like straight like MMA fighter and then this just like tall lanky dude, and they're like arguing and getting into it, and then the MMA dude Hulk Hogan's his shirt off before he's about to fight and beats the fuck out of this dude. Like, it was one of the things where he knocked him out. He's on the ground, and then he hits him with like 3 more in the face while he's unconscious, and they finally like get this maniac off of him. And I thought I like witnessed a fucking murder. Like, me and my buddy were so like hammered drunk, and like we couldn't talk. We're like, dude, I think that guy got killed. I think that guy got killed. And then finally I'm like, also, if I'm about to fight a dude like that and he Hulk Hogan's his shirt off, I'm going to be like, yeah, this ain't his first rodeo. I'm good. Hey, good luck, Penn State.
Dude, anyone who pulls their shirt off before a fight, that's just, hey, why don't we have a drink and settle this instead? They're going to fuck you up.
He didn't even go over. He was like, fuck this shirt.
Ripped it open from the front. Badass, dude. Badass. But dude, and you're also a Knicks fan.
Big
Dude,
Knicks fans.
You got any Knicks stories?
Yeah, I've been going to the Knicks games forever. I remember back on. Have
you gotten in trouble there, or ever gotten had a little too much fun at a Knicks game?
It was a night. It was a night. me and my buddy went. He would only drink vodka, and this is before. Like, now there's like areas that serving liquor. Like, for whatever reason, they didn't serve liquor until like maybe I feel like the last 10 years.
It's
like,
probably a bad move.
Yeah,
that they
like
started
15
serving
years, 10
liquor.
years. I don't know what.
I love it.
And we were there, and we paid for these expensive tickets, and we're at the one place that serves vodka, and it was like a Ron Jeremy popcorn seller. And I don't know why I was just like fucking with him, and I'm like, he's like, I see him playing with the popcorn in his hand, like people rolling quarters. I'm like, this guy is disgusting. I'm like pouring the popcorn in my mouth, I'm pouring it back in, scooping my own. At one point, I shoved my head in the popcorn. I was wrecked. You know what I mean? Like, and like my friends howling, laughing. This guy just sitting there smiling, playing with the popcorn. Like, it was disgusting. And like, we're taking the train home, and we're taking the A train, and my buddy was nodding off, and I was ready to go. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I was just, it's still, we were drinking a pounding bottle of Jameson's, I remember. And I got off. I don't know where I got off. And it was pumping. And it was like 11:30 at night. I'm like, where the fuck is this? Subway is pumping. I don't know where I'm at.
Yeah.
And I remember I was trying to talk to this chick, and she kept walking away. And like, she was like, give me a hint. And I turn around and I see like these 3 guys like following me. Oh. And like, I'm like, oh shit. And I'm definitely in the wrong neighborhood, whatever, man. And I'm like, oh fuck. So I start walking towards the end of the train, and I'm like the biggest train person. So I'm like looking at it. I'm like, fuck it, man. I'm not getting robbed. I hopped on the tracks, and I'm like, come on. And I just start running down the tunnel. And I'm like, and I'm not a train person. And I'm looking back. I'm like, fuck it. I'm running. I don't know which way the train's coming. So I keep looking back, because it could be coming from that way. It could be coming from this way. And there was like a catwalk that just didn't keep going through the whole thing, which would make sense. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm walking on that when I can. And now I'm like trying to run. I remember falling once and looking at the third rail like that. I'm like, all right, get it together, Tom. I already committed. You know what I mean? And now I see lights coming, and I'm like, all right, I don't know about like inertia or like wind sucking me in. So I get off the tracks, I hold on to this pole, and the train's going by, and I'm like, fuck it. So I'm running, and I finally see the next station. I hop out, and for an electric train, it's pretty dirty. I have like soot on me, like it was like coal. You know what I mean? And I pull up myself onto the tracks. I remember this lady looking at me like, what's this crazy white boy doing? And I remember I got up, and like, hindsight from working at UPS in the neighborhood, it was like the A or the C that goes by like maybe Liberty or somewhere in Pennsylvania. And I walked to the Exxon that used to be on Pickett in Pennsylvania. Hindsight working at UPS, there was a Subway, and I was like just trying to hide out, trying to figure out how to get home, and then fucking some guy let me in his cab to give me a ride home, and then he stole my phone. Scumbag.
Oh my God.
Dude, that is like the most dangerous thing.
I know, but I didn't get robbed. Scumbags. Imagine by chance. Like, I played a lotto, I gambled. There's always a chance. He could be one of these guys. Like, yo, remember that fat guy we were going to rob that time? There's a chance. There's a chance.
Dude,
I like that after all that effort, he still got his phone stolen anyway.
Oh, my God, dude.
They had the partition. I don't know how I was trying to show him something, and he fell in, and then he locked it, and then he wouldn't.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. Oh, after all that, I got robbed anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, after all that, I got robbed anyway. Scumbags.
Dude, I can't believe you didn't even not only jump on the tracks to go to the other platform, you ran through the tunnel to the next station.
Well, at a certain point, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I was nervous because it's scary down there. I remember going like this to the guys, like, come on. You know what I mean? Like, let's see how tough you are. You know, there's 3. Let's go in the dark.
Yeah, it had to be like pitch black.
Yeah,
and it's frightening. Dude.
And like just going back and forth, like looking like because you don't know which way the train's coming.
The amount of rats there, dude.
I didn't even think of that. But when I fell, like I tripped once, and I remember it was a surreal moment of looking at the third rail, like, come on, Tom, get it together. And I'm pissed drunk, partying.
Holy
you know, like
well, that'll sober you up a little.
Yeah, you know that fall.
Yeah.
I remember looking at the third rail, like. Get it together, because you know there was always as a kid you're like you can't pee on the third rail. I don't know why people was be pissing on the third rail, but that was the thing. You don't want to
come back up. And
you get electrocuted. Like,
oh my god, dude! Holy shit!
But let's go Knicks, you know.
Just you and the Ghostbusters are the only people that I've ever heard of walking on those train tracks.
Wow.
And like MTA, get it together. Why is the catwalk stop at certain points? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it should go through the whole tunnel.
Probably because not even the workers are like, there's no reason we'd ever need to walk between stations.
And I don't even remember how long I was down there because the next stop it takes a little while on the train, let alone
Yes.
Probably a 2-mile walk.
I never did a pull up my whole life. I know people are like obviously, but like that's my goal. You know what I mean? To do one pull up before I die. And
the reason the train exists like that is because it's too far to walk. And you did.
And then, but pulling myself up off the tracks, I was like impressed because the adrenaline. You know, I had finally seen this where I was trying to get to. Like,
dude, what a feeling!
tunnel.
What a feeling that must have been though, as you like are approaching the end and you see like the light from the station. Dude.
And not as the other station was pumping. This one, there was a couple of people, like a normal 11:30 at night train station. I don't even ride the train.
Dude, I'd be horrified if I just saw some dude fucking in his Knicks gear on a Saturday night come out from the tunnel. I've seen people jump the tracks, but like coming out from the tunnel, coming up, and be like, oh, this guy's here to murder everybody here.
I've seen kids riding on the top.
Oh yeah, dude.
That's something I've seen recently.
I
wouldn't even do, let alone run in the fucking tunnels.
I just didn't want to get robbed, man. I felt it. I felt it.
Yeah.
Fish out of water, trying to talk to this girl. And like, it was a last minute. My friend was nodding off and the door opened. I didn't know where I was. I ran out of the door, it closed right behind me. And then at that point, I knew I fucked up.
Hold on. So you also left your buddy asleep on the train?
Yeah.
What a friend. What a fucking friend.
I always love the line, it was at that point I knew I fucked up.
You might be asking yourself, how'd I end up in this situation? Oh my God, dude. Ron Jeremy popcorn and lots of vodka.
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy, man. That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah, that's lucky though.
No, I shouldn't be. I read all the time, like we were just talking about, from hitting people. Like people, I always had bar fights and people hit their head, die. Reading people, random guy on subway dead. 'Cause I read the paper every day. I love it's a movie, the New York Post. And I think about it. And the handful of times I've ridden the subway, I'm just looking out the window like, and I think about I don't know who I thank. Maybe my friends in heaven watch me that night. My dad, like, but I look out the window like I shouldn't be here. You know what I mean? Like, especially being inebriated or whatever the word. Did I say the right word? Yeah. As I was saying, I'm like, did I just say a slang?
Did I just say a racial slur?
You know, those native inebriators. They want their land back? Fight us.
I would just like to acknowledge.
Took you out.
I can't believe Washington had to change their name because those fucking inebriators complaining.
Yeah, I would just like to acknowledge that the Troublemakers podcast does do this on inebriated lands.
You know what?
Shit,
after that, maybe you should have become a priest. Were you telling us that you were,
dude?
That was it was. I did like a 2-month bid. You know what I mean? Like We just moved from
I love you
Brooklyn.
talk about it like it's jail.
It was from a public school kid in Brooklyn, moving from Brooklyn to Rockaway. There's a story behind what happened.
Yeah. Take us back. Take us to the beginning.
So I don't know how I did good on tests because my mom was doing my homework. You know what I mean? Like, but I did good on tests.
Probably how.
No, but they kept me in like the top class somehow. You know what I mean? Like, but not my mom. She's not like a Oxford student. She's my mom. You hear the shit I talk about? And like we moved to Rockaway, and it was straight out of Lean on Me. Remember that opening scene? Dated reference.
Yes.
Definitely watch.
Yes.
Classic. And there was 2 projects fighting. Hamels versus OV, and then there was like me and my 5 buddies. You know what I mean? Sitting in the corner, like it was a wild time. It was the 90s, and
What was the school?
PS 180 in Rockaway.
Okay.
Now it's a scholar school, of course. You know what I mean? Like later on, it gets this shit together, and like I spent most of my time suspended watching Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa with my dad because he was always hurt from work also like me in UPS, and because I was suspended, people just blast you in the hallway for being white. You know, it was like just like playing basketball and the kid's like showing you his knife because you fouled him too hard. Like it was fucked up, man. It was, but no, it makes you a better person. I'm not mad or nothing, but you had to defend yourself. I like to fight. You know what I mean? I was suspended all the time, and like this girl was calling me like all the funny honky cracker, and I always like to joke, you know. So I remember Earth Science, the book, there was these heat lamps of this lady eating beef patties. I'm like, oh, that's your mom cooking dinner. She lost it and started stabbing me in the head. If you look at the camera, I have a cyst there. She started stabbing me in the head, and like my parents were already telling me like, yo, you can't. The high school Beach Channel's right across the street. You're gonna just drop out because I'm already suspended every other week. You know what I mean?
Holy shit.
Like 3 times out of the month, I'm suspended for a week. And so now I got a bandage around my head, like a cartoon character. Like, you know, when Bugs Bunny, like, how many lumps of tea? And hit him with the mallet. And it like, yes, and he got the bandage around his head. So I did my parents a favor. I took the test. We didn't have money, so I picked I got accepted to all of them. Again, I don't know how I did good on the test.
That's great.
And I chose the cheapest one, Cathedral Prep in Elmhurst. And it was a school, in hindsight, to become a priest. So now I get there, the priest is looking at me with this bandage on my head. I tell him the story like I just told you. I don't hold back. You know what I mean? And he's like, son, you're not gonna you're not gonna be on this earth this much longer. You need to come here and become a priest. We're gonna save you. And I'm like, yeah, all right. Like, and this is, and you have enough just walking the hallway, just getting punched in the face. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like,
now you got to risk getting molested.
I love the idea of a young Tom just talking to a priest, and this fucking bitch starts stabbing me in the head.
Because I said that a mom cooks beef patties? I don't get it.
No, I don't care if this gets me in trouble. No, what I would do.
Yeah, dude, tell us.
There was just like this, for whatever reason, like maybe when I took the test there, I was just in general population. There was this one like smart classroom. And like I hated those kids because that's where I used to be. Now I'm in Gen Pop, and my mom worked at Lincoln High School and would take home like these like yellow Post-it notes. Yeah. And me and my buddy, I don't think I was smoking weed yet, but I always liked funny shit. I would write, I hate Malcolm X, I hate Martin Luther King, I hate black people, and put it on the other white kids' backs. And it would chase him down the hallway, kicking him in his ass. And we were howling laughing. Because imagine you're a black person, you see this white person with a note on his back, I hate black people, I hate Martin Luther King, I hate Malcolm X. They were losing, chasing him down the hallway. This kid has no idea why he's getting punched. Now he knows how I felt. You know what I mean?
Dylan, we're definitely going to have to wait till March to put this episode out.
Yeah, this can't come out in February. This cannot come out in February.
So,
holy shit, that's so fucking funny. Yeah, this episode's definitely getting limited ads.
That is way worse than a kick me sign. That's a fucking kill me sign.
But I bring it up with my friend who I'm still buddies with, and the smile and laughter that comes out of his face because I was the one doing it. We reminisce on this because it's such a fucking funny thing. Like, imagine you watch the movie and they were doing this and you're like, this is genius. In a weird way. Evil genius. You know, like.
That's so fucking funny. Holy shit, dude. So you go to the school eventually.
So now I get out of Gen Pop. Now I go to Cathedral. And they're teaching me Latin. I went to public. I was just putting those notes. Like, I'm not Latin. And I failed every subject because I'm from public school, I'm wearing a sports coat for the first time since my communion. You know what I mean? Like, I wear sweats, Nikes. Like, you know what I mean?
My God.
And like, I remember I wanted to play on the basketball team. I was good at basketball.
Yeah.
And the guy, Mr. Fogarty, came over. He's like, Farrell, come here. After I doing all the stairs, the suicides, like, out of breath, but I'm doing it. I want to make this team. He's like, you can't play. You failed 6 classes. I'm like, what? The punch in my gut. I was so upset. You know what I mean? Like, I just wanted to play basketball. I just went from Gen Pop. Now I'm fucking failing. Like, and like, I'm getting in trouble. Like, I had detention every day. Like, and they had like, I went to public school. We didn't have lab. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember there was one time in detention. I was like flipping up the jacket, and I remember I stole all these pieces from my bong from the lab because I had all glassware. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't have that in public school. And I jumped on the floor. He's like, "What's that?" I'm like, "No, I dropped my pen." You know what I mean? Like, I was just out of control. And I remember that feeling. Herman Sports was across the street on Queens Boulevard. I went there. This is pre-Columbine. I tried buying a gun, a BB gun. I just wanted to go shoot some birds or a squirrel to let off some steam, and they wouldn't give it to me. Like, I just needed something. Like, I want to be famous now. I could have been famous back then if they gave me a gun. You know, I would have shot that teacher. Fuck you, Mr. Fogarty. I hope you're dead. Rest in peace. I don't wear a Catholic. Fuck you. But like, I remember trying to buy, like, I wasn't going to shoot people. I wanted to I don't know why I was going to shoot poor birds and squirrels. Like, look at this shot. Psha, layup. But yeah, I lasted.
Oh my God.
I lasted a couple months. I caught like a 2-month bid, and then that got thrown out because they had me in gymnastics gym. This guy, Mr. Dilge, doing a 3-point stance, like standing on. He's like, "Oh, do this." He like squatting down, pushing himself up off the floor. I'm like, how the fuck am I gonna do gymnastics gym? Give me a basketball, chief. You know what I mean? Like, the fucking gym. So the next thing you know, I'm beating the shit out of this kid, Michael Mayer, me and my buddy, and he left. The bell rang, and I remember I was holding the stage. I just kept kicking him, like, for whatever reason. And I remember the bell ringing and my friend leaving. And I'm like, I'm not done yet. A couple more kicks. Yeah, like broken ribs, and that was the last show. They threw me out. I went to 4 high schools.
Did you really?
Yeah, but I graduated in 3.5 years. They were like,
we got to just get him fucking out of here, dude.
But
my God.
The next one, I went to Lincoln. My mom worked there, and
what was that like, having your mom work at the school that you're at?
It got to me because some of the teachers knew, and they were like, threaten me in front of the class, and like, you don't want to seem like you're getting favored.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, yo, shut the fuck up, Miss Green. Like, and like, I was fighting there also, but now it wasn't just like, it was because there's like a European, Eastern Europe, like Russia,
Russians,
right there.
Yeah.
So now I'm fighting black and white people, and the Russians, they got a hard face. Like, I remember punching them a couple times. I'm like, it hits different. You know what I mean? Like, the stronger bone face or something.
Jesus.
And
Dude, can you imagine hitting so many people that you can tell the bone structure based on their ethnicity?
And
you really want to punch a Spaniard. They got a nice fucking soft
Got a real soft forehead.
And I was just getting. I would just. My mom worked for the school-based support team. Like, she was just a para, and I would just. The teacher's out again. I would just sit there, fucking get a soft pretzel or Pepsi, read the Post. It was the best, you know? And like, I was in like freshman Spanish. It was like a junior still. And like, they told me, please stop fighting in class. I go, what do you want me to, like, you want me to, like, hey, 3 o'clock, old oak tree. Like, no, like, if it's going down, it's going down. But I was trying to listen, you know? And I remember I was eating a loose skin tangerine. I was throwing a peel on the floor like a real class act. And this little kid, he's like, you hit me with that tangerine, you fat fuck this. All the fat jokes in the world. Nothing bothers me at this point. You know what I mean? And I was like, all right. And it was like, woo. I remember the Spanish, Miss Thomas, no. I go, don't worry. I knew all the time when the bells rang and shit. And 1 minute before, I threw my bag in there, grabbed his book bag. He's like, give my bag back. I go, come on. Give my bag back. But a third one, I hear the trepidation in his voice that he knew we fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, we took him in the back staircase, right around the now you can't leave from Bronx Tale. He came in, give my bag back. I go, now you can't leave. I closed the door. The whole class followed. blasted him in his face, started fucking kicking him, kicked him down the flight of stairs. I remember running the fuck out of the building, go to the B-36. This Asian kid's like, man, I never seen someone kick the shit out of someone like that in my life. I go, I know.
You're like, me either. That was the best I've ever done.
Yeah, you see it in the movies, kicking someone down a flight of stairs, and like he tore ligaments in his knee, principal suspension. I'm in there, beautiful, beautiful leather chairs. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the Board of Ed wastes a lot of tax money on these, like, exquisite, you know, like where they got the nubs, like from the, little indentions. I'm like, this is nice. And like, all the principals, the deans, and my mom, she works with all these people. They take out the computer paper, and then they let it go. It was like, my cut sheet. Like, because I never went to class. My mom, I was chilling and reading the Post, you know? And my mom starts crying. I said, you know what? Fuck all you. My mom doesn't deserve this. You know, so I got out of there, and then I ended up at Beach Channel, my original school that my parents didn't want me to go to, right across the street. And they took attendance at second period. You go by, they were selling $3 bags. So I'd get 10 $3 bags and then go fucking smoke at my friend's grandpa. I got attendance that my parents don't know where I'm at, you know? And I got 0 credits there. So I graduated 3.5 years out of the 4 schools. One's a 0. You do that, was that mean or average?
Yeah, average it.
You had a 0. That's bringing a lot down, you know? And then I ended up at this... next to a post office in this old army base in Fort Tilden with this guy, Mr. P. It was called Last Chance High. You know what I mean? It's still through the Board of Ed. And he was like a born-again Christian, but quoted the Beastie Boys, did like jujitsu, but he liked me. I played on his basketball team, and like you were done by 12:30 every day after an hour of playing basketball, either in the church or football in this grass. Fort Tilden's beautiful, but it's just one room. And somehow I did all these like independent studies. I had this girl who I was seeing at the time blowing me in Reese Park, doing them for me. And like I was so cool with the teacher. He's like, yo, he called me Helmut because I have a big head. He's like, Helmut, I didn't get your art thing. I was like, I gave it to you. He's like, I must have lost it. What do you think you got? I'm like, probably like a 75. I never went too hard, you know? 70s. And he goes, all right, so a whole semester of art. He just wrote down, like, because I was cool. I played basketball with the guy. And, you know, Last Chance High fucking, saved my life, man. Shout out to Mr. P. I think he's in Colorado now.
Mr. P.
That's fucking unbelievable.
And he had us get W-2s to clean the outside through the parks department or something because it's federal land. And we were bullshitting around, smoking weed, getting checks from the government out by 12:30. Fucking the bus stop's right there. We're picking up all the Catholic girls in the school dresses. I was still under 18. Fucking don't try to get me there. You know, chop up the clips.
I'll make sure I include that. Don't worry.
Oh man, but yeah. And I graduated a half year early. Bought a hoopty car. I was selling regular weed. Started delivering pizza. I was making almost 700, 800 a week. Fucking smoking bongs, listening to Pink Floyd, and fucking always had pizza in the fridge. It was great.
I love the I handed it in, dude. I got a 75. Oh, okay.
And like there was a guy, Joe Orlando. He was his assistant, like old school Italian guy from Brooklyn. Thought he was a DJ. Still like not like going to the past, like as I tell stories from the past. And he was just I always tried busting my balls. And like, and I had a car, so I was allowed to go drive and get us breakfast in the morning. It was such a racket, this place.
Oh, my God.
And it was this little supermarket that I worked in as a stock boy also. And I knew the lady, he was on a diet, and he wanted a ham, egg, and cheese. I'm like, extra butter. She put that much butter on it. And he's like, fuck this job, and fucking threw it. And the guy had to separate us. So we were playing football. And like right next to the little school over there where the horses are in this federal park. And he came out of nowhere and fucking hit me, and I slid on my shirt. And I remember I like this cool 17 got this like ball shirt, you know what I mean, like you cherish those things. And it was a grass stain. I'm like, this motherfucker. So the next play, he was running up the sideline. I went as hard as I trucked him. He's like, fuck this job. He attacking me like the whole school. Like I almost fucking got thrown out of Last Chance High. It was great.
Oh my God, dude. Holy
Wait, this was so you were playing football with the teachers?
Yeah. Oh, there's just Mr. P and the assistant. And then
teachers?
all these other fucking aristocrats that were from different neighborhoods. And then, once I told all my friends about this, my brother, like 10 of my friends went there. You're getting out at 12:30 with a regular diploma? You know what I mean? Like, and just in this one room, like, dated book. It was something out of like a movie, like The Wire. Like, remember the basement class in The Wire? Something similar to that.
I wish I would have fucking did that. I went like fucking high school was so useless as far as like being there that long and learning.
Yeah, I'm good at fighting now.
Yeah, that's all you got out of high school.
Good right hook.
That's fucking.
Is that you're strong enough to throw somebody down the steps?
Jeez. That's fucking crazy. I also like how you were in high school, but you were also just like always a 50-year-old guy. You're like, I like to eat my pretzel and read the Post.
And a can of Pepsi. It was so good.
That's so funny.
You know those old school style You're from Pittsburgh, but Philly, you know those soft ones? Like,
I didn't know that they did union rules at high school. What union was that part of?
I'm not going to fight. Just don't bother me while I'm eating my tangerine. Or I'll break your fucking legs.
That's great. Some of those jobs that are just like connected, like jobs that aren't jobs, you know. My one buddy, he worked for a guy once. He was like, it was one of my first jobs, and he was Italian. So it was definitely somewhat connected. Literally, his job was him and this old man, and the guy would sit there all day and he'd read the paper. And their job was paper would come from the floor above. It was like scrap paper, whatever it was, and their job was to sweep it into like the next hole in the floor so it would then go down again. Don't know what kind of job that is, but he goes, dude, I'm like 16, 17. It's my first job. I'm working there. So like, a couple pieces of paper would fall, jump right up, sweep it right in. After doing that for like a half an hour, this old guy goes, hey, let it build up. Let it build up. He's like, we sit here all day. He's like, yeah, that's the job.
Like the Riggs and Murtaugh of the paper sweep
Literally.
crew.
That's it, dude.
there was you saying that reminded. There was a movie that during the pandemic, Levels. It was like all these levels, like a prison.
Yes,
And you kept throwing your garbage and shit onto the next one.
Did you like that movie?
I thought it was interesting.
It was interesting, and then the end pissed me off.
Yeah, I don't remember the end, but I remember the guy losing and people throwing shit off, like because you throw your garbage to the next level.
Yeah.
Right?
I didn't see it. I didn't watch it.
What was the idea about the food? They had this big feast at the top. It was like a prison, and then as it went down, like it was enough food for every single person to eat on all these levels. But it's like greed. So if you fucking, the people at the top are just crushing all the food, and then nobody's getting it down at the bottom.
I gotta see things like 5 times. Like I see things once that I don't remember a certain part. I remember, but it just reminded me of that movie. Check it out.
Well, that's because you're eating the whole fucking cake. That's what's happening there.
That's so funny. And then you had one more thing that you wanted. I wanted to ask you about. Remember me?
Oh yeah. So
what is that?
So fucking, I was allowed to do intramurals. I can't even speak English.
These are real words. I would like to acknowledge that
Intermural sounds like another racial slur.
Yeah, this podcast takes place on Intramurals land, and we need to acknowledge that.
So I remember, just I love basketball, and the Rockaway was the lost child of the 5 boroughs. Like it didn't have the MTA; it had the Green Line bus service. You know what I mean? It's still New York City, but it was like, fuck it, the Green Line. And it ran whenever the fuck it wanted. Now there's a schedule and all this other good shit. And we're waiting there at 6 o'clock. The bus pass only went till 7, but I'm in this stupid uniform. The guy comes late. And then he's like, nah, too late for the bus pass. I'm like, we've been waiting for an hour. Where the fuck were you? You know what I mean? Off my bus. I got to take a shit. You know what I mean? Like, so I fucking, Coke just reissued glass bottles. It's like 96, 90. So there was one in the garbage. I fucking took it. I threw it at the fucking bus. He stops right in the middle of the intersection. We ran into this place called Pickles and Pies, like a deli grocery. And I'm like hiding in the back by the aisles. Like, you know what I mean? Like, nothing happened. And so I forgot what school I was in the next time. My friend's dad was a cop, so we were allowed to it's called the Explorer program. We say you want to be a cop. We just had access to the train and shit. And I would go on the train and I would draw dicks come in, right in the most obscene stuff, like woke. Your head would explode, woke people. Like, but then I would always leave it with something about white people, so they cover up my trail. You know what I mean? Like could it be a white person? Look what they said right there. You know what I mean? Like destroying the train. I was young. Fuck you. Don't judge me. And
was it the 90s?
Yeah. Mid to late 90s, mid 90s, and so we would just destroy the train, and then I'd take the bus home, and the Pace Pickles and Pies got soft serve iced tea, soda, and they had iced tea. This is when Snapple first came out. Iced tea was always made at home, stirring around. Yeah. Iced tea in a bottle, what? Nestea? I had a huge styrofoam cup. We get on the bus. I tell my two friends, I'm like, yo, that's the guy that wouldn't let me on that time. Like, what are you going to do? I'm like, so the whole ride, I'm like biting the styrofoam cup. I have a plan. And at the end of where that Last Chance High is the last stop before it goes to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And it's like a turn and you go over the bridge. And as we're pulling into the stop, I start walking to the front. I'm like, yo, you remember me? And I throw the iced tea in his face. And now, like, you ever fly over the middle of the country, you see the squares of acres?
Yeah.
That's how Fort Tilden's laid out. Now, this guy's whipping the Green Line bus in Fort Tilden, and I'm running like a cartoon. There's a gazebo I'm hiding. I'm running to the next bush, and this guy's whipping around looking for me. And I fucking finally make it to the end. There's this old army base, and like there's a rusted fence. I'm like, this barbed wire, like it scares you, barbed wire. Put my jacket over, I rolled over it, and I got out of there.
Oh my God, dude.
It was very satisfying to get this scumbag back, you know?
Tom, if you were a priest, I would convert to Catholicism. That's what you are like this is obviously like me and you know each other. We've met and hung out a little bit at like comedy clubs, but this is like the most I've ever talked to you. And you are what like I wish every New Yorker was, and what I thought every New Yorker was going to be when I moved here.
Dude, can you imagine your homilies? They would be unbelievable. You just tell a story and be like, so in today's gospel, don't do that.
Listen, you saying homily just took like they made you go to the choir also. Like there's a part of me like you know I go to church often. Well, a lot of my friends that passed away for the memorial mass, and I'm telling you that Salve Regina, like I fucking love that song, man. I get me going. I start hitting the fucking notes. Like there's something about it. It just gets me in my chest, man.
Oh my God, dude, it's a great song. Yeah. It's a great. I will say that people don't love to talk about church now. Yo, Catholic Church got a lot of fucking hitters. Yeah. They got a lot of good songs, dude.
That place fucking stinks.
Oh, I'm sorry, dude. You don't like the Lord?
No, I've been to Catholic Church like 4 times.
They got a lot of good songs, dude.
Weddings and funerals. That's about it. That's the only way they get me there. I'm a public school kid through and through.
I got so hot I threw my hat on the floor.
Yo, he feels like just throwing the iced tea wasn't enough. He's gonna find this fucking Green Line bus driver and take him to that school and throw him down the steps.
Man, dude, holy shit, that's so funny. Dude, we're just about at an hour. This was a fucking great episode. Do you have anything else you want to talk about before we do 58 minutes?
Jesus Christ, that was
flew.
No, man, just thank you for having me again. I love you guys, love the show, and it's just fun just talking about
we love
stuff
having
that
you
happened,
on,
you know?
We got to have you back. You get me all fucking fired up. I don't know what it is. It's contagious.
Dude, it's great. Yeah, tell the people where they can find you, where they can follow you, where they can buy from you.
Oh, yeah. Big Tits, Big Pics, my Instagram, and it's my main thoroughfare to everywhere else. See where I'm performing. THC TV with Big T. My cooking show. We cook with weed infused stuff. I have a couple shows coming up. This will probably be out already Saturday. A weed show at the Producers Club in the city. And also, local comedy legend Phil 987 has a show of aristocrats.
Really?
Yeah. In a couple of days. It's a who's who of it's check it out. I was gonna say something. I was like, I think I caught myself.
There's gonna be a lot of inebriators there. Let's just say that. Tom, you're extremely tan. When you just pulled your shirt up, you're tan.
It's lasts from the summer. My shirt's always off. Riding the boardwalk, tits out. You know, just I've been on shows where a guy's like, "Hey, this blah blah blah," and then like comes up to me, "Were you in Reese Park yesterday riding through?" Like, I load my bag up with my edibles, weed, and I up and down the peninsula, going green, making green, selling green. Fucking shout out to Al Gore.
You are tan. You do got a little.
Don't look at my thighs. Don't look at my thighs.
I'm not looking at your thighs. I know that's one thing you're insecure about.
The only thing.
Mine is my eyebrows.
You should be self-conscious about those.
Thin. I'm thinking about getting surgery.
You could, dude. You get them tattooed. Yeah, exactly.
My
eyebrows always not something I'm self-conscious about. Mine's
What a way to end the show. What a way to end Troublemakers is us all going, I'm insecure. That's why I cause trouble, because I think people are staring at my eyebrows.
Remember me? Yeah, remember those eyebrows.
Holy shit, dude.
But thanks for having me, man.
Dude, absolutely,
yeah,
man.
Anytime.
Ray, give them where they can find
me,
you.
where you can find me personally, I'm at Ray Be Killing 'Em on all social media. Every last Thursday of every month, I'm running Happy Baby Comedy at Lucky Jack's in the Lower East Side in New York City. And I'm here every single goddamn Wednesday on the Troublemakers with my boy Dylan Krasinski.
Yeah, go follow me at Dylan Krasinski on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok, and at Troublemakers on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. We post the episodes every Wednesday. Clips come out 4, 5, 6 times a week on all those channels. So give it a listen. Rank us 5 stars. Hey, if you listen on iTunes or Spotify, leave a comment too. I don't think you can do it on Spotify, but iTunes, leave a little comment. Apple Podcast, baby, we'd love to hear from you. And yeah, shoot us a message if you have any questions or want to submit things that you want us to talk about or some shit. So do that. Follow us. Go follow Big T. And thanks for being here, man.
Yeah, thanks
you
so
guys.
much.
We'll see you next week, baby. Good night.